Hello to everybody and welcome. I was just explaining myself all of this, then I see I make a wonderful explanation. It was good. Then I thought I should record it for myself, for other students. Maybe it get helpful to them. So if there is any mistake or I mention something wrong, so remember I'm a DVM student too. Like I'm a medical student in DVM field. So if there is anything wrong, so I say sorry. And it's just for the informational purpose. Like I'm a student too, I make this wonderful. I think according to me it was wonderful information what I collect. So that I think I should share it with others too. It's good, but I should not take your more time. We should start. And thank you for coming and watching. So let's start. Today we are going to discuss lungs. We are going to discuss the anatomy of lungs. First we are going to see some little bit functioning area of lungs, where it does the functions. And sorry if it's move too much, because I'm the only person shooting, and I'm like with my one hand I'm holding the phone and with the other I'm making the video. First of all, we are going to discuss the functional part of the lungs. Then we are going to discuss the parts and the surfaces. Then we are going to discuss the margins. Then we are going to discuss the pulmonary lobes. Then we are going to discuss the pulmonary sequences. Then we are going to discuss the pleural segments. Then we are going to discuss the pulmonary segments. Then we are going to discuss the pleura, the part, and the recessive. First thing first, I want to mention that pleura mean pink, and the recessive parts mean the different parts of it, and recessive mean the small gaps, like the small spaces between the membrane of pleura. So then at least we are going to discuss the midostrum. Like midostrum, I mean it's a middle midostrum, like the middle space between the lungs, like between the middle area between the left and the right lung. So first thing first, we are going to discuss the functions. What are the functional part of the lungs? First of all, see here. Sorry, I have a small whiteboard, and if it's I have less space, but I try to explain my best. First of all, look at here. The functional part of our lung. Basically, as we all know, the function of lungs is respiration, like inhalation of gas and exhalation of gas. So look at here. So basically the lung is covered in a rib cage. So our rib cage is not only a structure; it's also helping our inhalation and exhalation. How it helps? Look, first of all, we see the muscles, like how it helps us. So here we have sterocleidomastoideus muscles, like here in our neck. When you breathe in, like you see some muscles near your pharynx and larynx. There is a long muscle start from your up of, you can see your skull, and then come down to your like rib cage. Like I make it a little here. You see it? Yes, that is sterocleidomastoideus muscle. So it's a basically a muscle, like which help in the inhalation, like we make, so then it goes hard and it's give more space to come up and expand. Then we have external intercostal, like I write it here, external intercostal muscles, and like these are present on outside of the rib cage, like I mentioned it in green. Then we have on the down here, I mention it diaphragm. When we inhale, it's like our rib cage goes up. The sterocleidomastoideus muscle goes stretch and it goes hard. It not stretch, you can say sorry for that. It goes hard and it pull everything up, and it gives more space for expanding our lungs. Then when it get expand, basically when it goes expand, then the air comes in. But how we release the CO2 outside in the environment? So for that, we have external intercostal muscles and abdominal muscles. Like you release, you can try this with me. Like take in a long deep breath, then release. Your abdominal muscle, do you notice it comes in, and your external like intercostal muscles of rib goes back. Yes, like this make a negative pressure inside your ribs, which help to you can say uh, constrict your lungs. Like when I want to explain here, I will love to mention here the medical condition. Like if a bullet, like we suppose if a bullet hits you, you get hits here, but we suppose there is no internal bleeding. It's not possible, but we suppose there is no internal bleeding. Then you cannot breathe because the negative pressure is n0. So in that case, what you can do, you can suck the air from that hole. Like we can say the bullet did not pass from the back side. It doesn't go from the out from the back. It's in. It's just a hole in the front. So the negative pressure is 0. Your lungs are not, you can say, constriction or expanding because the negative pressure is 0. Then you can do just like put your mouth on the hole, suck the air. Then you can put a normal duct tape that can make the little bit of negative 0 pressure, and you can start breathing. Yes, but I will love to mention here one thing. uh, uh, it's okay. Like when there is no bleeding, it's okay. Nothing in the pulmonary fluid like serosa, the the serosa is not coming out. Like the fluid present in the pulmonary cavity, it's not coming out, and the negative pressure is maintained. Oh, it's no problem. You have the pain, but you can breathe. But it's not possible in real problem. When you get hit, you get bleeding, and then when you have bleeding, the serosa is coming out. Then the negative pressure is going to be and in some time. So then you have to suck the blood out. Then you create the negative pressure, and then you can start breathing. So I would love to mention 3 things. So there are 3 types of you can say actions occurring. First of all, pulmonary ventilation. It's the coming of air from outside the environment, like the gases outside the environment, into the lungs, like here outside the environment into the lungs. And then we have external respiration. External respiration is what? When the blood from lungs to go to blood, or like the gases go from lungs to blood, and from blood the gases go back to the lungs. Then we have internal respiration, where the gases like the oxygen go into the cells, and from the cells it come back to the blood. It's called the internal respiration. We are going to revise it. What we just said: pulmonary ventilation, when the from atmosphere the gases goes into the lungs. And what is external respiration? When from the lungs the gases oxygen goes into the blood, and from the blood the gases like CO2 goes into the lung. Okay, it's clear. Then we have internal respiration, where the gases goes from blood to the cells, and from the cells to the blood. It's called internal respiration. So let's move on. Now we see the functional units. That's a functional part. Now let's go to the functional unit. What's a functional unit? The functional unit is alveolars. What's that? After the bronchi, when we see it to the microscopic levels, the lungs, we have alveolars, which are surrounded by the blood vessel, blood capillaries, like the smaller, you can say, 1 minute, just one. Sorry, I get interrupted. Yes. So the alveoli are surrounded with the blood capillaries, the smallest blood vessels in the body. So what they do, they diffuse the oxygen from the blood and diffuse effuse the oxygen from the blood and diffuse the CO2 from alveolar, like to the from blood to the alveolar. Like oxygen go from alveolar to blood, and CO2 goes from blood to the alveolar. Now it's done. This is the functional unit. This is the functional part. Now we have to go on to the. 1 second. Let me check.